at the homework question last night, which is question number 23. All right. And again, it says 20, which one? 22. All right, let's take a look at 22. It says, a farmer's market sells ears of sweet corn. At this same rate, how much will it cost to buy 28 ears? All right, so again, let's look at this. So right now, you see right here, we have 8 for $3.50, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remind you, 8 for $3.50. Do you agree with that? Now let me show you how I kind of help myself. Remember how to solve this. Look up, please. All right, because this is the important part where I'm trying to help you think a little bit. So please look up. I'm not asking you to mess with the calculator. I'm asking you to look up here so I can try to show you something. Now, for me personally, I want to know how much is it for 1. Right? Now, I'm showing you, listen to me carefully. This is how I want your brain to think. If I have 8 for $3.50, I want 1, so I have to divide by 8. Why do I have to divide by 8? Because 8 divided by 8 is what? 1. Right? So then I would have to do $3.50 and divide it by 8. So I want everybody now to take out the calculator that you have it, and I want everybody to do $3.50 divided by 8, and I want somebody to tell me what that is. Thank you, Aiden. 43.
Oh, wait, no. I
0.4375. Now that's like 43 cents per ear of corn. Does that make sense? And the 75 is like a little bit less than a penny. Now, Carmen, are you with me? Come on, girl. You're writing on something. I'm not sure what you're doing. I'm up here trying to show you something. All right, you're supposed to have your calculator, and you're supposed to have done 350 divided by 8, and you're supposed to have on your calculator 0.4375 so I can talk to you. Ian, are you with me? All right, everybody with me on that. So what I want you to be able to do is I want you to be able to tell everybody that this is how much it costs per what? Per ear of corn. All right? Now, how many do we want? We want 28. So if that's how much it is for 1, all I have to do is do what to that number? Times it by 28. All right? So that's why it's important for a unit price. Now, again, does everybody understand? I don't want you doing 28 times 0.4375. That's why you have a what? Calculator. I don't care about the arithmetic right now. We're doing problems. All right? And now is the time to ask. You know, I fussed at some of you guys. I can't help you if you're not willing to say, give me some help. I just can't. I'm not a mind reader. All right, so if you want help, put your hand up. Good. So now, what was 28 times 0.4375? How much? $12.25. $12.25. Is that good? Thank you. Yes, now look. Bradley, you know how much I appreciate you, right? So again, there's other methods to this, 100%, right, 100%. But for me right now, I think the most important way is to say, look, each ear of corn costs 0.4375. Now I'm interested in 28. All right, I appreciate your mental math. All right, you're very good at it. All right, and if you got 12.25, you got the right answer. All right, anybody else? You're good. You understand what I did? And now you also learned a very good lesson. When you're not here, I'm recording the classes. If you're so sick you can't listen, I totally understand that. But if you're kind of sick or you feel better at the end of the day, listen so you're not behind. All right, you got to listen so you're not behind. So I appreciate that, Yusuf. All right, now let's go with today's lesson. All right. So now on your sheet of paper for today's lesson, let's take a look at it. That was 5.2, so today we're going to do 5.3. Now on section 5.3, all right, we're doing percentages, and we're simplifying. Very simple day. Very, very easy. You might even have some extra time here. All right. Everybody has their calculator out, right? All right, because we're not going to use the calculator for the first 6. All right, but after we do the first 6, I'm going to show you, I'm going to let you use the calculator. All right? Because again, it's very important to get the hang of it here. All right? Now, this is called a complex fraction. It's called a complex fraction because there's a fraction within a fraction. All right? So what I want everybody to be able to do is, I want everybody to write number 1 this way. I want you to write it this way. I don't want you to write it as a complex fraction. I want you to write it as this. 18, thank you very much. And I heard that. That's a good job. That literally just means 18 divided by 3/4. Is everybody good on this? And we know how to divide fractions because division is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. All right, so now on your paper, I want you to write equals 18 times 4/3. 18 times 4/3. Now, we can do this mentally. All right, we always do the division first. What is 18 divided by 3? 6 times 4. There's my answer. Now, I'm not going on to the next one yet. I'm asking you to eyes up on the board. If I say 18 times 4/3, everybody's eyes up, eyes up. Come on, Justice. 18, do the division first if you can, because that makes the number what? Smaller. Ian, are you listening? 18 divided by 3 is what? 6. Then times 4. 24. That's the quick way of doing that. I don't want to go 18 times 4. I know you know 18 times 4 is 72. And I know you know 72 divided by 3 is 24. So is it really that big of a deal? No. But if you don't know what 18 times 4 is, you should know what 18 divided by 3 is. Everybody see why that makes it much easier? Everybody with me? All right, so now I'm going to go on to problem number 2. Thomas, stay with me, please. Justice, are you with me? All right, for number 2, this is 3/6 divided by 4. Everybody has to write that. 3/6 divided by 4. Now, honestly, I think it's kind of hard to see, but I'm showing you now. I'm showing you. Pay attention. This right here is kind of like the darker one. All right, and it is a little bit bigger, but it's kind of hard to see. So if you make a mistake on what you see, do I really even care? I don't even care. On my test, it's going to be obvious. All right, on my test, I'll write something like 3/6 divided by 4. It'll be crystal clear. So if you accidentally make a mistake, just say, you know, it's not that you don't know how to do it, right? It's just your eyes deceived a little bit. It is. I promise you, it's not a big deal. But I'm telling you what that means right there. All right. So if I say 3/6 divided by 4, that is the same as what? Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. So I have 3/6 times 1/4. Now I got something up here now. Your brain, when it sees 3/6, should never even see 3/6. It should see 1/2. Everybody agree with that? I can reduce 3/6 to 1/2 right off the bat. Are you with me? So 3/6, I prefer now that you're writing it as, and make sure you're hearing me, that goes into 1 and goes 2. Does that make sense? And then 1/2 times 1/4, everybody should be able to say 1 over what? 1/8. Because again, remember, when you're multiplying numerators, and then you're multiplying what? Denominators. Yes, ma'am. Good for you. Because 3/6 is the same as 1/2. In other words, watch this. If I say divided by 3, you with me on that? So 3 divided by 3, and then 6 divided by 3, 2. You agree with me? You happy now? All right, now try to do the next one, okay? Now again, everybody's trying to do the next one before I do it. All right? So let's look at question number 3. All right? Now, Carmen, tell me what number 3 says. You're awesome, girl. Now, one more. What's the next step? Can you tell me? Yeah, I'm really happy. Really proud of you, girl. Good job. All right? You good on that? Good. And now when you multiply, you end up with just what? 4/3. Do I want you to change it to 1 1/3? No. Leave it as an improper fraction. You can leave it as an improper fraction. Is everybody hearing me? Yes. If you change to 1 1/3, it's still correct answer. But as we progress in math, advanced, we leave it as improper. We don't do this next. But I wouldn't care. Nothing is wrong if you change it. It's just one less step. All right? So now, let me talk to Mr. Dan. Tell me about number 4. What does that mean? Just, we can ignore. Perfectly fine. I mean it. Right. 1/3 divided by 3/5. Perfect. Hurry up, Yosef. Beautiful. Does anything cancel? So the final answer is? You're awesome. 5/9. Very good. 5/9. All right. Do the next one. Number 5. What does that say for number 5?
11.
What do you think 11 divided by 1/2 is, real quick? Say it. Yes. What's 11 divided by 1/2? Now, what does that mean? Listen to me now. I know you do. So listen. Here's what your brain should be saying. Think of 11 pizzas. If I cut 11 pizzas in half, how many pieces do I have? Shh. That's how they figured it out. Listen to what I'm saying. I mean it. Listen to what I'm saying. It's weird. Like, who would do a reciprocal? Does everybody hear what I'm saying? Well, like, why would they? How does that work? I'm trying to show you why it works right now. I gave you a really good example. I said, if you have 11 pizzas and you divide them in halves, right, you're going to have how many? 22. So they said, well, how do we do that? Well, 11 divided by 1/2 is the same as 11 times 2. So they had to come up with, well, what does that mean with the 1/2? They noticed you just do what? Take the reciprocal. That's where they came up with that. So everybody understand me on that. So 11 divided by 1/2 is the same as 11 times 2, which is, of course, 22. But that is a really, really good example of why we multiply by the reciprocal. Because when my math teacher first told me that, I was like, why is that? Why are you allowed to just flip the numbers? All right? You flip the numbers because that's how you get to the solution. Does that make sense? So they had to call that switch something, and they called it a what? A reciprocal. Everybody with me? All right? So 11 times 2, 22. All right? Let's see how we're doing now. Number 6. All right. What does that mean?
4/7.
Which is the same as 4/7 times what? Divide.
1/2.
Yes, ma'am. Good job. Good save. 4/7 times 1/2. Yeah. So right here, 2 is the same as 2/1. That's a good question. Right? Do you agree with me now?
Yeah.
2 is the same as 2/1. So we still not do the reciprocal, right?
Oh.
Right? Flipping.
Oh.
Everybody good? Girls, you good? All right. Now what can I reduce, please?
4.
Yes, you can reduce the 4 and the 2. So let's everybody make sure you're doing that. That becomes a 2. That becomes a 1. So what does that equal, please? Yes, it would be 2/7. That's your answer. Okay? Now let's read the word problem. Number 7. Monica reads 7.5 pages in 9 minutes. So how much does he read? How much does she read per minute? All right. Now, hold on a minute. So how many pages does she read per minute? So I'm going to let Bradley tell me how to do that. That is exactly correct, guys. So on number 7, I want everybody to write down 7 1/2. Now, notice I didn't really write it as a fraction this time because it's just easier to write 7 1/2 divided by 9. Is everybody good with that? Now, is there a problem with 7 1/2? And the answer is what? Yes, because you're not allowed to have what? Mixed numbers, so you got to change it to improper. 7 1/2, Bradley, is the same as what? Bradley. Yes, 15 over 2. And then division becomes multiplication, and 9 becomes a 1 over 9. Please write that down now. Make sure you're writing this information down. I'm not interested in just your answer. I'm not interested in just your answer. You're going to write it down. Now, what can I reduce? Beautiful. So my final answer. Then that would be 5/6. 5/6 of a page per what? Per minute. All right? Am I making sense here, Diesel? No, because decimals are harder to work with than fractions. I don't want to work with decimals, especially if I'm multiplying and dividing. Agreed? All right? Now, the last one here. Well, not the last one. I've got a couple more. It says Patrick drove 220 miles to his grandmother's house. The trip took him 4 2/5 of an hour. What is his average speed? So, how far did he go? And then I would have to do what?
Divide.
That's right. So you would write 220 divided by what? 4 2/5. So now let's knock this out. So 220 divided by what? I'm listening to you. Shh. I want him to tell me. 220 divided by what? This is part of the problem. You're daydreaming.
12.
Shh.
12 over 5.
Why 12?
Oh, shoot. 22 over 5.
Right, 22 over 5. Yeah, but I'm trying to tell you, you should be sitting up in your chair. You should be writing things down. You should be participating with me, and then you will become brilliant. Until you do that, it's not going to be brilliant. You do that every minute of every second that you're in here. All right? Now, tell me what to do.
Wait. Never mind. So, can't you do?
I'm asking you to change division to what?
Oh, multiplication.
And then do the what?
Multiplication. So
It becomes
5 over 22.
right. Good.
Yeah,
Now
so
what?
What?
How about where are you? What planet are you on today? 220 divided by 22. What is that?
Is it
10. Wow. Oh, I know it's throwing you off. 10 times 5. Slow down. Answer, 50. All right, what? We went 50 miles per hour. That's what that means. 50 miles per hour. Does everybody agree with that?
What about
The what? It was 10. Yeah, we did. Right there, buddy. And then 10 times 5. 50. 200. I said, what's 220 divided by 22? And you said what? That's where it went. Yeah.
Oh.
Right? There you go. So we're at 50 miles per hour. Okay. Now, I want to see who's remembering this word.
Oh, I
out of
know.
100.
Percent means what?
Out of 100.
Thank you. Percent means out of 100. Hear me, guys. Percent means out of 100. So if I'm going to write this as a fraction, girls, I'm going to write this as a fraction. You're going to write 6 2/3 divided by 100. That's where you're writing it. All right? Everybody see that? So now let's come down here. 6 2/3 divided by 100 is the same. What's 6 2/3? Someone do that for me real quick.
18. So yeah, 20.
Say it again. Good. 20 over 3 times the reciprocal. What's the reciprocal? Thank you, Justice. Thank you very much. 1 over 100. Now, what can I do with 20 and 100? Reduce that to what, Justice? Go ahead. How much?
10.
All right. So we divided by, tell me what you divided by, buddy. Shh.
Oh, I divided by 10.
All right. So that would be 2 and 10. Now, can I reduce 2 and 10, please?
Yeah.
To what?
1, 5.
Yes, sir. 1 and 5. So now what's my final answer, please?
1 over 15.
You're awesome, buddy. 1 over 15. Perfect. 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 Okay? Now, that was number 9. So let's check out number 10 now. Number 10, 7 1/2 divided by 100. That's what that means. That's correct. 15 over 2. Now, let's do this in one step. Times 1 over 100. Very good. Now, what can I reduce here? 15 and 100 by 5. So that becomes a, and this becomes a 20. Yes, ma'am. Good job. 3 over 40. All right, that was 10. All right. No. All right. Now, does everybody have their calculator out?
Yeah.
All right, please watch on your calculator now. All right, please do me this favor. Pull out your calculator. Now, I want everybody to type in 10 1/2. 10 ABC 1 ABC 2. Come on. And now we're going to divide that by 100. So hit divided by 100. And what does it say? 21 over what? Isn't that nice? It's very nice. Very helpful. Ian, are you okay with this? But listen to me, guys. I'm going to say one thing first, then I'll help you. I promise. Listen, guys. Does everybody understand? I'm letting you use the calculator because, number one, we just did all the arithmetic, and I'm feeling pretty good. If you don't know how to do the arithmetic, you should have asked. Everybody hear me? I mean that. All right? You can't let me continue down to question 11 or 12, and then so I don't know what I'm doing. All right? So now I'm asking you to use the calculator. So we did 10 1/2 divided by 100. Look how nice that is. Now the next problem, we're going to type in as
15 ABC 3 divided by 100.
There you go. So number 12 worked out to be what?
23 over 100.
23 over 150. Is everybody okay with that? Everybody know how to use the calculator? Super important. You know how to use your calculator? Calculator, do you know what? And look, did you do that? All right, so you type that in on your calculator. 15 ABC 1 ABC 3 divided by 100. You should be doing that. No ifs, ands, or buts. You got to be doing it. Now, if you're going to use a calculator, what was the condition? You got to write the problem. Everybody hear me? You got to write the problem and then say it's equal. I know you're using the calculator now. So I'm going to take a look now, and then I'll answer your question again. Sorry. Here. Now that just means what? 1 divided by, yeah, you shouldn't even use the calculator on that. Everybody should just say, well, that's obviously 3 over 2, right? And look at 16. 1 divided by 1/4. You should be able to look at that and just say, well, I know that's what? 4. But sometimes I think it's good to use your calculator so you can go, wow, that was kind of dumb. But I used my calculator. Does everybody agree with me on this? All right. So now, I think I said for your homework, all the way up to 34. So 13 through 34. 13 through 34. And what's really nice is I don't mind you using a calculator, just be careful. All right, write the problem and then put equals and then tell me the answer. I don't want just the answer. Yes, sir.
So for like the simplify one, is it the one under or above the big line that you have? Like,
Well, I know it's kind of weird, right? It's like this line is bigger. You with me? So it'd be 9/10 divided by 9.
Can you look at 15 and tell me?
Yeah. 15 looks to me like it's 12 divided by 3/5.
Okay.
And I think the one is also darker than the other.
I can't. Oh yeah, I can have it.
Yeah, I'll let you look at that now. All right. What time do we get out of here, guys?
13.